Let's do it.
This is the SEC Insider Hit. And it's presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Oh, buddy, this wasn't your Red Lobster lobster. I think that's where Andrew's going on the Ag Up Equipment text line. We want to hear from you. I want to know what you think about Ole Miss. We're hearing some national championship chatter for 2024. After the 11-2 season, Ole Miss has never won 11 games. Lane Kiffin busted down that door, trumping Johnny Vaught and Hugh Freeze? Is that fair? Yeah. Lane Train. He is on fire. And there is not just college football playoff chatter, but national championship chatter now coming out of Oxford, Mississippi, as Lane puts the exclamation point on the season with the win over Penn State. And did you watch it, Jason?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course I watched it. And I thought, honestly, the biggest difference between Ole Miss this year and in years past is making adjustments. The defense actually made adjustments. Like the run game.
Right. So Penn State started the game running the ball down Ole Miss's throat.
Exactly.
And what you're saying is, and I think it was adjustments, and Ole Miss just started playing better. I mean, Penn State's quarterback can't throw a forward pass.
Yeah.
So to say that they're one-dimensional is, an understatement. And, I think Pete may have had to come to Jesus with this defense, and then they knew that Penn State was not a threat to throw the football. And then eventually Lane just worked the Penn State defense. Guys were wide open. And I also think Judkins had something to do with that too. Because once he started shaking, once he started shaking and moving and shaking and baking, it opened up some other things for Lane and Dart.
And Caden Prescorn. I mean,
Prescorn was wide open all day.
Dude, that guy, I was looking at him, his build. How are you going to take down a refrigerator? That guy's giant.
Yeah, he is. He's a big boy. He's a big boy, and he's coming back. So the hype train, it's on in Oxford and for Ole Miss. 11-2, win over Penn State, grab Walter Nolan in the portal, Dart coming back, added some other pieces. The schedule is about as good as it's a favorable schedule, about as good as you can pull. Well, it's a long time. We'll see how LSU looks by Labor Day. And we know Georgia's going to be good. And we know, the league was down. There's going to be some teams that are going to get better. But it's going to be a lot of fun to cuss and discuss during and debate, or debation, as a guy that I know throughout in college. I had no idea. But debation during the offseason. We are the Out of Bounds Show. This is the Farm Bureau Insurance SEC Insider Hit. Right here on the Out of Bounds Show. Bundle your car and home and save. Go to favrates.com. You want to save money? F-A-V-E. Favrates.com. Favrates.com. And, in fact, Farm Bureau Insurance, they insure the studio. Thank goodness. Because I love Mark and Sally at Beagle Bagel, and they do an amazing job. But just in case anything ever happens, we know we're covered by our local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app and the zone1059.com. And Mr. DX already wants to poke the bear. Doesn't he?
Lane to the NFL?
Lane in a box to the NFL. And Mr. DX says, was Jason in attendance to show his support? All right, so I have to tell our listeners, for Jason to be such a big Ole Miss fan in the biggest year that they've ever had in the history of the program, finishing 11-2, and their two biggest wins, Penn State and Mississippi State, and Jason did not make a game.
Yeah.
So I think that some people are going to have to challenge Jason's fandom, and it's probably going to have to be revoked if he doesn't make it to Vaught Hemingway at least once in 2024. Isn't that weird to say? I say 2023 so much this past year on the show.
Right.
Now I have to wire my brain to say 2024.
It's like in school writing the date every day and then having to switch it over.
Right.
And then I'll just white out or
Yeah,
scratch
I never
it
knew
out.
what the date was. Right? I mean, why'd you have to know that at 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th grade?
It's like cursive.
That was a waste of time. I mean, my handwriting's terrible, but I don't write in cursive. You know, when you were growing up, girls could always write in your class, could write in this beautiful cursive, you know.
Calligraphy almost.
Yeah. Yeah. And they would write you notes in school, and you feel like it took them 4 days. They did it in 3 minutes. And you'd look at it and go, what is this? I couldn't even read what I was turning in 5th and 6th and 7th grade.
I mean, I still can't. Look what I wrote you today.
Yeah, I mean, you know how bad Wendy has been like, good Lord, you're left-handed. Your handwriting's awful. And, yeah, it is. So, anyway, where did that go?
Well, we were talking about, you said from my fandom for Ole Miss, how I might not be a true fan because I didn't make a game. If anybody is willing to donate a bedroom in Oxford for me to come up for a weekend, I don't want to do
No. You just can drive up and drive back.
I could do that.
Yeah.
It depends. It has to be the right
Thousands of people do that in Oxford and Starkville. Not everybody has a game day condo or game day home. We are the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Bundle your car and home and save with your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. They do life insurance too. Favorites.com, and they insure this beautiful, beautiful BankPlus Studio. Hope you and yours had a wonderful holiday season. We had a good one. We got out of town for a week and went to Exuma in the Bahamas and just treated ourselves for the first time in a while, and it was glorious. The weather was 80 degrees, Jason, with a slight breeze.
Ooh, and I was in Phoenix, and it was nothing like that.
All right, what was the – so ours was – and you know how when you get down there, it's the same temp 24 hours, right? Which is kind of cool for the most part. And we didn't have rain, which was phenomenal. What was the temp while you were out in Phoenix, Scottsdale?
It got pretty chilly. Like some days were pretty chilly, and then some days, like, you know, around noon, it hit about 70, and that was about it. But the weather, I mean, it didn't rain once. It was beautiful. The air up there feels so crisp because it's not humid.
Bro,
You
went to a beautiful part of the world, man.
Yeah, and then I got back here, and you walk out of the Jackson Airport, and the air is soup. You're just drinking it while you walk.
I know, man. We flew in Thursday night, and it was cold. And I was like, what just happened? I just put my, you know, in Georgetown in the Bahamas, you walk out to the tarmac to get on the plane, right? Because the airport looks like a shed in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Okay, I'm not kidding. No, I mean it looks like a dilapidated building.
Wow.
Okay, and so I'm like, I just put my feet on the plane. It was 80 degrees. I get out. It's 37. What in the world happened? But you went to a beautiful part of the country too. I've stayed up in Sedona and Flagstaff, and let me tell you something. It's nice. Like you said, the air, the beauty. It's great restaurants. My gosh. And you were in Scottsdale, right?
I was.
Yeah, Scottsdale's, that thing's a phenomenon. They just won't stop growing. Money is attracted to those type of places, and holy smokes. I saw your future father-in-law was at the Phoenix eating, and I've had a filet there in Scottsdale. The only thing was, that was the first time that I sat down, and, most everybody's kind of ahead of us, right, in kind of the fashion trends and culinary, although we now last 20 years, kind of everything's society, it's an even playing field. All right. And our culinary is amazing. But that was the first time that I ever sat down and had a filet in Scottsdale, and the chef, and it was this ritzy place at the Phoenix. Yeah. And they put barbecue sauce on it.
What?
And I thought, dude,
What?
it's not cool. It's not cool.
Any sauce
That
in
was
general.
over, and I'm sure this chef had been to CIA in San Fran or New York or Paris. I'm confident because, I mean, this place was way over my skis. I mean, it was fine and cool and beautiful people everywhere. Beautiful, beautiful bar. But barbecue sauce on a filet, somebody missed on that Culinary Institute of America class. You know, month 3 on a Thursday, got a little crazy. Got a little crazy. All right. So, we got a caller?
We do.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Stella Artois caller line, 601-707-3750. Who do we have?
Oh, Drug Dog wanted to comment on me. I think about
About the buffet?
when you said the fandom. I think about the fandom thing.
Okay. So it's National Buffet Day. We got National Bacon Day, National Bloody Mary Day. I may have to go over there and make a Bloody Mary
Ooh.
later in the show. People can watch on YouTube. We're going to play some beer pong later in the week. I'm just not prepared to do that after being off a week.
Right.
All right, let's go to Drug Dog. Drug Dog, you're on the Stella Artois caller line. Good morning. What's up?
Good morning, Bo. I like being on the Stella Artois caller line, but I would rather prefer to be on the Dos Esquis caller line.
I do remember you working at the beer barn.
Yes. For some of your younger callers, they may not get that. But listen, Jason, I'm 58. I travel with my wife, and I have a 4-year-old that we're raising. And we go to about 4 games a year driving back and forth from Starkville. So I would classify Jason as a walk-on fan at best, since he cannot seem to make it in Oxford. It's literally 2 hours up I-55, all interstate.
I agree with you.
I mean, come on.
So, you know, I think he needs to do something for the fact that Ole Miss went 11-2. Johnny Vaught never won 11 wins. No other coach. Hugh Freeze didn't have 11 wins. Lane sets the record. He's the best coach in the history of the program. He doesn't make one game. Drug Dog.
I agree, and I just have to let you know this, Bo. So I texted a couple of my buddies last night. Based upon what Ole Miss did this year and what they have coming up next year and their favorable schedule, I will be moving out of the country, and you will hear me back in 2026.
Are you really raising a 4-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, long story short. But
All right. Well,
so we didn't do it. Yeah, it's my grandkid, so, yeah, don't get carried away.
I got you.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it makes traveling at 58 a little bit more difficult than Jason by himself. I mean, at his age.
You know what I thought, Drug Dog?
What?
I thought when you said I have a 4-year-old, I thought Drug Dog has got to do a Cialis or Viagra commercial if it was yours.
Well, you know, I am on daily Cialis, so, you know, then there's that. Some things don't work as good as they used to, but
that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. All right. Well, hey, Happy New Year. Go ahead.
I think I'm getting too in depth on myself, but hey, at Jason's age, we could travel with a toothbrush. Okay, come on, Jason, buck up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It was great to hear from you. Happy New Year, Drug Dog.
You too, brother. See you.
Yeah, no, I remember back in the day. You remember you would pack a backpack? You'd pack a backpack to leave for 2 nights to either go see your buddies or, you know, whatever. That was it. Throw it in the car, right? Roll up a pair of jeans, 2 pairs of boxers, a button-down shirt, and like you said, a toothbrush and throw in deodorant. Gone. Took you 3 minutes.
That's all it takes.
I mean, we packed for the Bahamas. You'd have thought we were moving. I've never seen anything like it. It's like a traveling circus. What the hell's going on? So you're going to have to apologize to, and we're going to have to figure this out.
Whoa.
You're going to have to, because somebody told me right when I hired you that they were like, he's a walk-on Ole Miss fan. And you didn't make one game on an magical 11-2 season where now we have fans on the caller line, not the caller line, on the Ag Up Equipment text line talking about national championship and how Ole Miss is going to compete with Georgia and Bama and the other teams. And so I think we're going to have to craft a formal apology to Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart and Quinshawn Judkins and the Ole Miss fan base.
Oh, come on. I mean, look, a lot of stuff was going on this
24
fall.
years old, driving up and driving back.
We had a lot going on this fall.
No, you
know?
didn't. You think you do. I've already told you. You don't. You're not busy. You wouldn't know busy if it jumped in your underwear last night. So, I mean, what is the big deal? You leave it. I mean, I'm just throwing this out because it depends on game times in Oxford and Vaught Hemingway. But, I mean, you leave at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. You cruise in. You meet whoever at a tailgate. You have a couple of snacks. You cruise into Vaught Hemingway. You watch the game. You drive back out. You're home in 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
You're 24 years old.
I see the system here. I see the system.
I have driven to Ole Miss and back many a times from here and Starkville many a times. Now, I don't do it now, but I'm lucky. I have friends who have places in Oxford.
True.
And, you know, we have a place in Starkville. So it's all good, right?
Well,
speaking of, my buddy Patrick Kelly texted me and said we're going to do a remote this spring at Finch and Kelly in Oxford.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think we're going to tie in a Wilderness Trail, which is our new bourbon under the Wild Turkey umbrella, premium. Wilderness Trail bourbon tasting at Finch and Kelly while we talk about national championship aspirations and dreams. I'm excited.
Hey, that's a recipe for a good time.
And I got to get a sport coat from him. He took my measurements last time. So I told him I wanted one with the lining inside. I want whiskey glasses and cigars.
Ooh.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. That's like a...
He's the one that gave us the Quinshawn Judkins socks.
Oh.
Didn't I give you a pair?
Yeah, you did. I rocked them over the weekend.
I gave a couple of clients that are alums pairs too. So I couldn't remember if I gave you some. I got to get some more.
Oh, yeah. No, they're those are the best, like, holiday socks, you know?
Did you sport them during the holidays?
Of course.
Good. Did you feel like number 4, like Quinshawn Judkins?
Same agility, same speed. I mean, we're basically the same. We're pretty similar.
Speaking of, did you play golf in Scottsdale?
I did. I did play golf.
Yeah, Nick Fulton with USA Pawn, the USA Pawn boss. Shout out to the USA Pawn mega store. Buy and sell gold and silver, #1 in the state. Also smart TVs, Apple tablets, and many, many other cool things. We've got 1, 2, 3 TVs from USA Pawn. And no, 4. Now, I always forget about the one that Jason's looking at. 4 smart TVs from USA Pawn. He sent me a clip of your uncoordinated. It looked like you hit a hell of a slice. I forgot about that because I was in the Bahamas. And so you're in Scottsdale playing golf. It looked like a beautiful. Now, it didn't look like you were cold that day because you were wearing a golf shirt.
Right.
Not a pullover from the other picture he sent me where y'all were like, everybody had on skull caps and
bundled up.
And you were in jackets.
Exactly.
It must have been kind of a little bit of up and down, sometimes warm, sometimes cold weather.
Yeah, I had my Long Branch collared shirt on, my Long Branch golf shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And that yellow
Good.
one, it looked excellent out there in contrast with, the green grass and everything. So
Yeah.
the Scottsdale course was beautiful.
Oh, man.
My golf game was terrible. But I did hit a couple putts. That's my golf game. Give me 4 good shots in a day. I'm fine. I don't expect much. But I hate that he sent you that video.
With that video, so he wanted me to caption it, and I said, unathletic white dude. No, poster for unathletic white dude. But it really wasn't as bad a swing as I thought, and it wasn't I'm exaggerating here. But it looked like it did go a little right.
Oh, no, it did.
I mean, it did slice a little bit more than even what I saw in the video.
Slice machine.
Okay.
It definitely went right. I think that one might have hit the ground before it got in the air.
Nice.
So,
that's me.
Yeah, so I think that might have happened.
Okay. But did you hit any good shots?
I did.
Good.
I had a couple.
That's what the game's all about.
Hit a couple good chips. It was, the young bucks versus the old heads.
Did Nick Jr. play?
He did. He was on my team.
Who played better, you or him?
He did. I'd say, but when it came to the short game, I was a little better, but we relied on his drives, and my chips. And if you rely on me for anything, we're going to lose.
Okay.
Like, don't.
Who won?
The old heads. So Mr. Nick Fulton, and then his friend, family friend named Seth. He lives out there.
Oh, he lives out there.
Yeah, he does.
Didn't they go to some kind of pawn conference where Nick went for a day and found out more about sports memorabilia that he's going to tell us about?
Exactly.
I look forward to that. We've had some great sports. They've got a great selection of sports memorabilia at USA Pawn. Plus, he's got stuff that he doesn't even have out. Okay, so you played some golf. All right, best meal. So let's reset real quick. What was my best? Yeah, my best meal was Christmas Eve in the Bahamas with my family and, my best friend. And we had a Chef Luke. The girls had him in, and he did the best lobster I've ever had in my life. He did a grouper dip that was insane. And then, of course, we did the surf and turf. He did steaks, too, and a bunch of veggies. Now, I did have, across the bay, there was a beautiful little restaurant that we went to one night. Very intimate. And an appetizer they had octopus.
Ooh.
It was divine. So I had lobster one night, and a couple nights later I had octopus, and it was great.
Fresh or grilled?
Fresh.
Wow.
And it was. They did grill it.
Okay.
Not
okay.
much. So you know how when you go to certain countries, you eat clean?
Yes.
They don't have all the additives and preservatives and all the That was what this restaurant was. I mean, you could just tell how fresh and clean it was. So what was your best meal in Scottsdale?
Oh, it's a
And
toss
don't
up.
tell me going through like Jack in the Box.
Well, we did hit In-N-Out. I'm not going to count that.
Did
but
you really?
Yeah. Well, you got to go to In-N-Out when you're not, when you're out west.
When you're going, like y'all were driving around, you
Right.
had to get up to the Grand Canyon or get to the golf course.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll give you and Nick a pass because I know how much Nick Fulton. He's like me. Some people would say a snob. I just say I'm quality over quantity. All right, go ahead.
I would say the best meal was we went to this really nice Mexican restaurant called The Mission, and I had this chorizo steak almost. So it was a big piece of chorizo, had a nice little like dollop of like a buttered chimichurri
Oh, that sounds delicious.
on top. And we also had these like
How'd you get it?
It comes
Medium rare?
It comes medium well. So since chorizo's pork.
Yeah.
It just comes
got it.
medium well. So they
Yeah.
don't
Although you can go pork to medium and you're still fine. But
Right.
go ahead.
Right. And then we had these like lettuce wrapped pork belly tacos.
Oh, no.
There was, this like street corn. There was
Fresh.
guacamole.
What was the name of the place?
The Mission. The Mission in Scottsdale.
The Mission in Scottsdale. Ag Up Equipment text line. Has anybody ever been to the Mission in Scottsdale, Arizona? The text line is 601-885-3776. Let me give you some good news. Mudbugs is going to be open sooner than later. I'm going to give you an official date here, maybe even during the show. But I was going back and forth with Matt. How about crawfish season, right?
Ooh.
Mudbugs is going to be open sooner than later. And you know they have the best crawfish in the state of Mississippi. And, of course, they're number one, so they're on our show. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We are brought to you by Todd Sandridge, Trey Pace, Superior Foundation. For all your foundation issues, superior.ms.